Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others struggle, even with similar incomes? It's not just about how much money you make, it's about how you think about money. This is where financial psychology comes into play, and it's far more important than most of us realize. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotional. Every financial decision we make, whether it's saving, spending, or investing, is influenced by our beliefs, habits, and emotions. Often, we think we're being logical with money, but in reality, our past experiences, upbringing, and even societal pressures shape our choices in ways we don't even notice. Here's the kicker: mastering the psychology of money isn't about being perfect with your finances. It's about understanding why you behave the way you do with money, and then using that insight to make better decisions. In this video, we're diving into 3 powerful lessons from the psychology of money by Morgan Housel. These lessons reveal how simple mindset shifts can change the way you approach money, and even transform your financial future. But before we get into these lessons, let's first understand why our relationship with money is so complex. What drives our decisions? And why is financial success often less about strategy and more about psychology? Let's explore. If there's one thing that separates great investors from the rest, it's patience. But patience isn't just about waiting, it's about understanding the true power of compounding. Let's take a closer look at this concept through an example that Morgan Housel brilliantly shares in his book. Think about Warren Buffett. He's often celebrated as one of the greatest investors of all time, with a net worth of over $100 billion. But here's something most people miss: the majority of his wealth wasn't built through brilliant stock picking or risky bets, it was built through time. Buffett started investing at just 11 years old. By simply staying in the game for decades and letting his wealth compound, he achieved extraordinary results. If Warren Buffett had started investing at 30 instead of 11, his net worth today would be a fraction of what it is. This isn't magic, it's math. Compounding works exponentially, meaning the longer your money has to grow, the more it can multiply. The key takeaway? You don't need to be a financial genius to build wealth. You just need patience and time. Whether you're investing in the stock market, saving for retirement, or building a business, the principle is the same. The earlier you start and the longer you stay consistent, the greater your results. Here's a practical tip: don't underestimate small beginnings. Even modest amounts, invested consistently over decades, can grow into substantial wealth. Compounding rewards consistency and time, not quick wins or sudden breakthroughs. But here's the thing: patience isn't always easy, especially when life throws curveballs. And that's where another crucial mindset comes into play: understanding the role of uncertainty and adapting to it. In the next lesson, we'll explore why financial success often depends on how well you handle unpredictability. So, now that we've seen the incredible power of compounding, let's talk about something even more universal: the unpredictability of life and money. How do you prepare for the unexpected while still working toward your financial goals? Let's dive into Lesson 2. Now that we've established the importance of patience and compounding, let's dive into something just as critical: embracing uncertainty. No matter how carefully you plan or how well you think you've prepared, life and finances are unpredictable. Morgan Housel explains that uncertainty is a constant, and how we deal with it often defines our success. Imagine you're a young professional, just starting out in your career. You've done everything right, you've invested early, you're sticking to a budget, and you're making long-term decisions. But then, an economic downturn hits. Or maybe you face a personal crisis, a health issue, job loss, or other unexpected challenge. How do you react? If you panic and make decisions based on fear, you might miss opportunities. On the other hand, if you've built flexibility into your financial strategy, you're better positioned to weather the storm. Housel suggests that the most successful people aren't the ones who know exactly what will happen in the future, they're the ones who are comfortable with the unknown. Financial planning isn't about predicting the future with certainty, it's about preparing yourself for a range of possible outcomes. This includes building an emergency fund, maintaining diverse investments, and keeping an open mind about your goals. The key is to accept that you can't control everything. Instead of trying to predict the next recession, bear market, or change in interest rates, focus on the flexibility of your plan. That way, if something unexpected happens, you won't be caught off guard. Let's consider the story of Ray Dalio, one of the world's most successful investors. Dalio's approach to uncertainty is legendary. He created a system for his hedge fund that thrives during both good times and bad. His philosophy? Plan for the worst, hope for the best. It's about understanding the worst-case scenarios and being prepared to handle them, while staying open to the opportunities that come with changing circumstances. So, We've seen how uncertainty can either make or break your financial journey. But how do you avoid the most common trap that many people fall into, the idea that accumulating wealth will solve all your problems? In the next lesson, we'll explore why financial independence isn't the final destination, it's only part of the journey. Now that we've discussed how to embrace uncertainty, let's talk about the biggest misconception people have when it comes to money, that wealth is the ultimate goal. Let's take a deeper look at why wealth, in itself, isn't everything. We've talked about patience and how embracing uncertainty is a powerful tool in your financial journey. Now, let's dive into one of the most common misconceptions in personal finance, that accumulating wealth is the ultimate goal. Housel makes it clear that wealth is just a tool, it's not the end game. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that accumulating more money will solve all your problems. The problem is, many people forget why they're building wealth in the first place. It's not about the money itself, it's about what money can give you: freedom, peace of mind, and the ability to live life on your own terms. But here's where the trap lies. The moment you focus solely on wealth as an end goal, you risk losing sight of what really matters. If you're only focused on hitting a financial target, you might neglect the things that truly bring happiness and fulfillment: relationships, experiences, and personal growth. Housel explains that the ultimate financial goal should be independence, not endless accumulation. Financial independence is about having the freedom to choose how you spend your time, rather than being driven by the need to earn money. It's about making decisions that align with your values and priorities, not just working to build a bigger nest egg. Think of it this way. Imagine you've reached a point where you could quit your job and live comfortably for the rest of your life. The question then becomes, what would you do with your time? Would you spend it on things that bring you joy and fulfillment, or would you just focus on making more money because you feel you haven't done enough? True wealth, according to Housel, is the ability to control your time. It's not about the zeros in your bank account, it's about freedom. Freedom to spend time with loved ones, to explore your passions, and to create the life you want, without being tethered to a paycheck. Consider Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world. Despite his immense wealth, he continues to live a relatively simple life. He doesn't need more money, but he's driven by a passion for investing and the joy of thinking about business. Buffett understands that true wealth isn't just about amassing fortune, it's about having the time and space to do what you love. In the next lesson, we'll dive deeper into the psychology behind money and how our relationship with it shapes the choices we make. We'll also explore why understanding your personal values is critical for achieving financial independence. Now that we've seen how wealth itself isn't the end goal, let's turn our attention to the psychology behind money and why your mindset is just as important as your financial strategy. Now that we've explored how wealth isn't the ultimate goal, let's delve into the psychology behind money. Housel argues that how we think about money, how we feel about it, shapes our financial decisions more than any formula or investment strategy ever could. Understanding this connection between emotions and money is key to achieving true financial independence. Most people don't realize just how emotionally driven their financial choices are. From fear and greed to pride and guilt, emotions often take the steering wheel in moments of financial decision-making. Whether it's the fear of missing out on a market trend or the pride that comes from spending money to impress others, our emotions often influence us more than logic does. This is why many people make impulsive purchases, take unnecessary risks, or make poor long-term decisions about saving and investing. The emotional side of money often overrides the rational side, and in the process, people end up undermining their own financial stability. Housel emphasizes the importance of patience in overcoming this emotional bias. A key to long-term wealth building is having the discipline to stick to a strategy, even when the market is volatile, or when others are rushing to chase the next big thing. Wealth is built in the quiet moments, the slow and steady accumulation that happens when you don't give in to the emotional roller coaster of financial markets. Being patient is easier said than done, of course. But if you can learn to manage the emotional ups and downs, it becomes much easier to make clear-headed decisions that will benefit you in the long run. Fear is perhaps the most powerful emotion that shapes our financial behavior. Fear of losing money can lead to missed opportunities, fear of failure can prevent us from investing at all, and fear of not having enough can lead to hoarding money unnecessarily. The trick, however, is to understand that fear isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's a natural part of the process. What matters is how you respond to that fear. Instead of letting it drive you to make rash decisions, use it as a signal to take a step back, assess your situation, and ensure that your decisions are grounded in logic and long-term thinking. Housel highlights that the greatest investors and wealth builders are those who think in terms of decades, not months or years. This long-term mindset helps to avoid the emotional pitfalls of short-term market movements. Take, for example, the strategy of buying and holding investments. It requires a certain amount of trust in your plan and patience to stick with it. Many investors who try to time the market or chase trends often find themselves losing money because they were driven by emotions rather than a clear, long-term strategy. Look at the example of John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard and the pioneer of index fund investing. His approach was based on long-term thinking, diversification, and patience. Bogle's wealth didn't come from quick wins or risky bets, it came from his ability to remain calm and disciplined through market fluctuations. In the next chapter, we'll wrap up with some practical ways you can implement these lessons into your own financial life. We'll explore strategies for building wealth in a way that aligns with your values, ensuring that your financial decisions reflect who you are and what you truly care about. So, now that we've discussed how emotions can either hinder or help your financial journey, let's focus on some practical strategies to make sure you stay on track and build wealth effectively. Now that we've explored the psychology of money, let's shift gears a little. Building wealth is not just about accumulating assets, it's about aligning your financial journey with your core values. Morgan Housel argues that real wealth building is rooted in understanding your why and ensuring that your decisions reflect what matters most to you. One of the first steps in achieving financial independence is getting clear on your values. What do you want your money to do for you? Is it about security? Freedom? Giving back to your community? Having a strong sense of what you're working towards will guide your decisions in a way that feels meaningful and fulfilling, rather than just chasing numbers or status symbols. When your financial decisions are based on your values, the process of building wealth becomes more satisfying. Instead of accumulating wealth for wealth's sake, you are building something that serves a greater purpose, something that is connected to your deeper goals and aspirations. With clear values in mind, it's important to prioritize your financial goals. Often, people spread themselves thin trying to pursue too many things at once. By focusing on what truly matters, you can direct your energy, time, and money toward the objectives that will bring the most value to your life. Housel suggests breaking down your goals into categories like financial security, personal growth, or contribution to others. Each of these goals might have different timelines and approaches, but the key is ensuring that each decision you make supports your overarching life mission. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to wealth building is resisting the temptation of short-term rewards in favor of long-term goals. It's easy to get distracted by the allure of instant gratification, whether it's a flashy purchase, an investment opportunity that promises quick returns, or the pressure to keep up with peers. But by staying focused on your long-term goals and sticking to your values, you avoid making impulsive decisions that can derail your financial progress. This requires discipline, but it also requires a clear sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing something, it becomes easier to make sacrifices in the short term for the greater good of your future. Another key aspect of building wealth with purpose is the role of generosity. Housel highlights how people who are generous with their wealth, whether through donations, investments in others, or simply living a life of service, often find that their financial well-being grows exponentially. Giving, whether to your family, your community, or a cause you care about, creates a positive feedback loop that not only benefits others but also enriches your own life. Generosity doesn't just have to mean giving money, it can be about investing your time and knowledge in others. It's about creating a legacy that extends beyond your own lifetime and shows that your wealth was used to make a positive impact. To implement this lesson into your life, start by asking yourself some key questions. What do I want my financial journey to look like in 10, 20, or 30 years? What are my most important values, and how can I align them with my financial decisions? How can I start prioritizing long-term goals over short-term distractions? By answering these questions, you create a roadmap for your financial future that will not only lead to wealth but also ensure that the wealth you accumulate is meaningful and fulfilling. As we wrap up, remember that building wealth isn't just about numbers. It's about being clear on your values, staying disciplined in the face of short-term distractions, and finding purpose in your financial journey. With these principles in mind, you're not just building wealth, you're building a life that reflects who you truly are. In the next section, we'll wrap up with final thoughts and actionable takeaways to ensure that the lessons from this video stay with you long after the credits roll. We've covered a lot in this video, from the psychology of money to building wealth with purpose. Let's take a moment to reflect on the core principles we've learned from Morgan Housel's insights. First, we explored the importance of long-term thinking. The ability to delay gratification and make decisions that benefit you in the future is a key factor in financial success. Then, we talked about the power of emotional intelligence in managing money and avoiding common financial mistakes driven by fear or greed. We also learn that wealth isn't just about accumulating assets, it's about defining your values and making intentional financial decisions that align with those values. True wealth comes from building a life that reflects what's most important to you, whether that's security, freedom, or contribution to others. So, how can you start applying these lessons today? Here are a few actionable steps to help you put this knowledge into practice. Reflect on your own relationship with money. How do your emotions and mindset affect your financial decisions? Set clear, long-term financial goals that are rooted in your values. Don't just chase money, chase what money can help you achieve. Embrace patience and discipline. Wealth building takes time, and the journey is just as important as the destination. Stay focused on the bigger picture, and avoid getting distracted by short-term temptations. And finally, be generous. Whether with your time, knowledge, or resources, generosity can lead to a wealth of opportunities, both financially and personally. Morgan Housel's insights remind us that money is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. The way we think about money, how we manage it, and the decisions we make around it shape our lives. So, take these lessons to heart, make small changes in your mindset and habits, and you'll be well on your way to financial freedom and a fulfilling life. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from these lessons. And let me know in the comments what you think about Morgan Housel's approach to money. What's your biggest takeaway? I'd love to hear from you.